Corner depth just hit a stress test. The standard on defense cannot blink, and the front office is already moving from monitoring to modeling because winning streaks are built on stops, not speeches, and the next 7 days will define how this secondary holds its line. Welcome back to Bears News Fan Report. Straight talk, no fluff, just the football that matters when the scoreboard is real. I'm laying out exactly what happened to the room. How the coverage tree shifts when a boundary piece goes down, why the market actually offers a veteran answer that fits our scheme and our budget, what a responsible trade package looks like without touching blue-chip capital, and where I land on risk versus reward after watching the tape, the snap counts, and the cap lines. Here's the brief so you know what you're getting tonight without spoiling the climax. First, the health picture and how it tilts the call sheet. Second, the tactical ripple for fronts and coverage rules. Third, the live options on the market and the profile that fixes the problem now. Fourth, the financial path to land a starter without breaking the plan. Fifth, the realistic timeline from first phone call to Sunday snaps. And finally, my verdict with a clear fan-first ask so your voice shapes the next episode. Let's set the field. The defense has been carrying weight, creating extra possessions, hammering down red zone stands, and doing it while the top corner rehabs. That's leadership and coaching meeting a room that refuses to bend. Into that reality comes the hit nobody wanted. Stevenson exits with a shoulder issue after weeks of clean improvement at the top of routes and smarter eyes when we spin late. Nahshon Wright takes a shot, guts it out, and finishes. But the message is obvious. You can't live week to week praying bodies hold when the film shows opponents dialing up boundary stress to test your depth. This is where the pages in the call sheet start to shuffle. Without Stevenson, you adjust leverage rules on the outside. You mix more off-man on early downs to keep the lid on. And you disguise weak hook support so QBs can't auto-throw the glance and cash yards on demand. You don't abandon pressure. You become selective. Show too high, rotate late, and attack protections with timing instead of living in zero and daring the fade. That's coaching craft. But the league is a personnel business too, and the difference between surviving injury weeks and sustaining a winning standard is often one move that restores balance to your matchups and confidence to your room. The market scan narrows quickly when you're honest about need and price. You're looking for a boundary corner who understands leverage, plays through the catch point, tackles with his feet under him, and doesn't melt in off-man when offenses spam dagger and deep cross. You want someone with real starts, not a preseason hero, and you need contract math that slides into your books cleanly with proration without chaining you to a number that steals oxygen from future extensions. That profile exists, and it's the one I keep circling as the sensible football move right now. Before I say the name, let me paint the fit. In our structure, the outside corner has to live in a world where the safety picture changes late and the nickel steals windows with trap looks. That means patience in your pedal, confidence to break forward without grabbing, and enough length to contest the 9 without turning your head and hoping. It also means tackling, because this defense wins first and second down by erasing the cheap stuff, smoke now quick outs, and forcing throw-for-throw execution. Add to that the reality of late-game situations. You need a vet who stays calm when offenses throw layered concepts to bait eyes and hands. Stack those traits and the arrow lands on the same target every time I run the exercise. Now the reveal you've been waiting for because you already feel it in the way I'm building this. The clean. Adult solution is to go get Rasul Douglas. Yes. The veteran with proven ball production and boundary poise on a cost-controlled structure, leveraging Miami as the counterpart if they open the line on a move. Strip the headline of noise and look at the football. Douglas brings length, patience, and a technician's approach to the top of routes. He's comfortable in press and off. He trusts his feet, and he plays the catch point like a pro, which is exactly what stabilizes your backside when you're rotating the post late to rob in breakers. He gives you a tackler who doesn't concede freebies on perimeter screens. And he gives the rush an extra beat because quarterbacks don't get the free access throw they've been living on when boundary depth is thin. That's how a single player can raise your stop rate without being a star in the fantasy sense. He closes the easy doors, and the hard ones take longer to open. Financially, this only works if the proration is gentle and the future commitment is sane. That's why the framework I'm laying on the table is incentive-sensible and time-friendly. The outline looks like this. Chicago sends a 2026 fourth-round pick now with a 2027 conditional that escalates from 6th to 5th based on snap share and team results. The counterpart gets real capital if the player plays and the defense wins, and the Bears protect their board because the premium selections stay in-house. On the books, the remainder of the veteran number slides in via proration without restructuring starters or strangling the flexibility you'll need for your core. There's no locker room tax either. You're not dropping a celebrity into a fragile room. You're adding a worker who aligns with the daily standard the defense is already enforcing. Tactically, the impact shows up on Tuesday's install. With Douglas in, you restore the ability to call late rotation looks on third and medium without babysitting the boundary. You can show cloud to the hot hand and still trust the solo side. You regain confidence to bring pressure from depth because the backside corner understands how to midpoint vertical and come back without panicking. In the red zone, his patience matters. He doesn't grab when receivers sell the stop-start, which steals flags that break defenses' backs. In the run game, he fits with force and finishes square, which keeps you ahead of the sticks and off the field. And when Stevenson is back, and the tone inside suggests day-to-day before week-to-week is written in stone, you rotate intelligently. Protect bodies and let competition raise the standard rather than force a depth chart written by the training room. I want your voice before I deliver my verdict because this channel is built with you. Should the Bears move now for a veteran boundary piece if the cost looks like a 2026 fourth plus a conditional sweetener? Or do you ride the current room until December and trust internal growth to hold the line? Drop your read below. I'll be in the comments tonight going snap for snap with you. Timeline matters in this league, and this is the window where front offices earn their stripes. You make the call tree today. You align medicals and cap checks, and you keep the structure ready so when the counterpart signals they're open, you don't negotiate on the clock. You press send. You get the man on a plane, and you onboard terminology, so he's live in a week. That's not panic. That's professionalism. And it's what a defense that's already doing heavy lifting deserves. I'll close with a clean analysis of the headline because you earned that by sticking with me. With Stevenson managing a shoulder issue and the room already stretched, the smart measured play is to pursue Rasul Douglas on a responsible, incentive-driven deal that fortifies the boundary now, steadies your call sheet on money downs, and respects the cap and the future board. It's decisive without being reckless, and it tells the locker room the organization is matching their standard with action. Where do you stand on this move and on the broader strategy? Aggressive reinforcement now versus patience and internal development, given the way this defense has carried the identity of the team. Tell me in the comments, and if you value analysis that treats your time with respect, fast updates, real football, no noise, hit subscribe, drop a like, and turn on notifications. You'll get every step of this story tracked with clarity and the tactical breakdowns that follow, so Sunday feels smarter the second the ball is kicked.